Hey, welcome back to the kitchen. Today you are going to be joining me as I start getting myself ready for Thanksgiving. I'm doing it a little bit early this year because of our move for Thanksgiving. I've got so many things going on right now. I thought I would make it a little bit easier on myself. So I'm going to start this week by making my green bean casseroles. I'm going to go ahead and do for Thanksgiving and Christmas. While I'm in the kitchen, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my cornbread dressing by getting the cornbread prepared, cut up, and drying out. So let's go in the kitchen and see how I do these. For the green bean casserole, start by opening up your soup and adding it into a mixing bowl. Add in your milk and your pepper. I actually like to use extra, so I'm going to do that here. And stir them together well. Add in your onions and stir them in lightly and set it aside. Take your drained green beans and add them into a baking dish. Pour your soup mix over the beans and lightly stir them in. If you're going to freeze them, now would be when you would cover it up and mark what's in there and your baking instructions and set it in the freezer. Same thing if you're going to put it in the refrigerator if you're doing this right before Thanksgiving. Now I'm just going to repeat what I just did for the next one that I'm preparing for Christmas. This one I'm doing 1 can of cream of mushroom, 1 can of cream of chicken, because that's what I had on hand and they're totally fine to intermix. As an alternative, you can use cream of jalapeno or cream of poblano if you want to make this a little bit spicier, either during the holidays or during the year if you choose to make it then. And it really adds a nice kick to it, a nice flavor, and I really like doing it that way during the year. The day that I'm baking this, I'm going to add more of the fried onions on top. I just didn't want them to go stale in the meantime, so I'm going to get another can to open for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then you just bake it for another 5 minutes to get them golden brown and it's ready to go. To start with my cornbread, I need to semi-melt my butter so it mixes in with the rest of the ingredients well. So I'm going to pop that into a microwave safe bowl and get it softened real quick. I'm going to set that aside and then start adding all of my dry ingredients. It doesn't really matter what order they go in. However, I like to do the flour, the sugar, and the cornmeal on the bottom and then add the smaller ingredients like salt and baking soda, baking powder on top so that they don't just stay on the bottom. They mix in well. After you've stirred those in, then you can start adding in your wet ingredients. However, I'm going to caution you, if you have to walk away for some reason, you have a child that needs attention, or you need to go for a restroom break or something like that, now's the time before you add those wet ingredients in, because all of the moisture, especially the buttermilk, is going to be activating your baking soda and making it all bubbly. And the longer you let it sit there, if you have to step away for an hour, then it's going to mess up your recipe. So now's the time. If you think you need to go do anything, go do it now, and then add your wet ingredients, mix it really quick, and get it added to your prepared baking dish. You want to have it greased, or you can use a non-stick cast iron like I'm going to use today. We are going to bake this at 350 degrees. If you're doing a single recipe, then you can bake it for 30 minutes. I'm doing a double recipe, so I'm going to be baking this for about an hour. While that's baking, I have a lasagna that I pulled out from my freezer for dinner, as well as a loaf of honey wheat bread. I'm going to go ahead and pop that lasagna in the oven so we can have our dinner tonight. Make it super simple on myself. The cornbread looks fantastic out of the oven. We're going to let it cool down completely, and while it's doing that, we're going to eat this lovely lasagna dinner that I have made here, as well as some birthday cake. All right, now that our cornbread is completely cooled, I'm going to take a butter knife and just slice it into about 1-inch thick strips, and then go across the opposite direction to make squares. And I'm going to use my spatula to lift it out of the pan and spread them out onto my cookie sheets. Cover them up with some towels so that they can be air drying for 4 days and not get stuff in them. And these are going to sit on my dining room table for those 4 days so they're out of the way. And that's all there is to making this cornbread. It's really delicious. It's my family's favorite cornbread recipe, and we love making it periodically to go with this dressing or with beans and ham, all kinds of things you can make cornbread for. Well, there we have it. We have 2 green bean casseroles completely made and now in the freezer, as well as a double batch of my cornbread for the dressing, and it is going to be drying for 4 days, and then we'll get started on the dressing in a future video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out in the kitchen with me today and are inspired to kind of do some preparation for yourself to make your holidays easier as well. Have a blessed day. Bye.